Hello. You're going to have to let me know if you can hear me or not. I'm going to add my headphones. One sec. Can you guys hear me? I'm just going to talk, and then if you can't hear me, I'm going to assume that no one's going to say. Okay, perfect. You can hear me. Fantastic. Hey guys, how you going? I hope you're all doing really well. Hope you've had a good day. What day are we on? Thursday. This week has been a little bit chaotic for me. I don't know if you guys follow me over on Instagram, but if you don't, you may not know why it's been a bit crazy. But I just really missed doing lives, and I just thought it would be a good opportunity to jump on here and have a chat with you, catch up with what you guys have been doing, catch you guys up with what I've been doing. And you can ask me some questions and just, chill for a little bit and get to know each other. So I can see you're all meeting each other in the comments over there. Gosh, we've got people from everywhere. This is amazing. Anyone in the UK will know how cold it is at the moment. It's really, really wintry here right now. I've got so many jackets and I'm like snuggled up, and I've had to just crack out my electric blanket. So you know winter is here when you have to crack out the electric blanket. But anyway, if you have any questions, it can be literally related to anything: health, fitness. It could be about YouTube. It could be about work. It could be about general chit chat. Throw it in the comments and I'll sort of talk about it and as and when I see it. But yeah, I just thought I would use an opportunity at the beginning just to catch you up with how everything's been going. And I think it's just been a bit of a crazy year, to be honest with you, for most of us, right? And I feel like it's just starting to catch up with me now. But this week has been particularly crazy. So if you know my partner, Josh, you probably haven't seen him too much on YouTube. You may see him a little bit on Instagram, but he has been really, really poorly, unfortunately, and he's been in hospital this week. And he's been unwell for a little while, probably about 6 months. And he went into hospital a little while ago, just before we went to Croatia. And on Saturday, he had to go back into hospital, and he's been there ever since. So I've been going up there, but the thing is, the hospital that he's in is about an hour away from where we live. So it's an hour drive, and then obviously spending some time with him, and then an hour drive back. So it's been absolutely crazy. But the good news is he's doing better now. He had surgery yesterday, and now he's in recovery mode. So that's a really big positive, but it has been kind of stressful this week because of that. But in good news, as you would have seen on my community tab, last Saturday, or Saturday just gone, I competed in High Rocks, and I just joined in with a team from Bulldog Gear, and it was a lot of fun. I was so scared to do it because I've literally never done a fitness competition. And although fitness is my job, I really don't sort of see myself in that element. Like, I still see myself as the old Lucy sometimes. And the thought of me being in a competition was so scary to me. But it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. My legs actually nearly gave way. I've never experienced that in my life, but it was a really cool experience, and I'm so glad I did it. So that was an awesome challenge that I managed to do. And I felt like, for me, October was a chance to challenge myself and just do things that I really enjoy, because I felt like I'd kind of lost that a little bit over the last year, especially with my back injury. So for me, I came back from Croatia and I was like, right, I'm going to kind of go full force into doing things that scare me, doing things that I enjoy, just getting out of my comfort zone, because I sort of well and truly fell into that comfort zone. And yeah, it's been a fantastic month for that. I even did some filming with Bulldog Gear. I went and filmed, as you actually guys won't know this, I went and filmed a YouTube video about bouldering with a guy called Josh Rundle. He has a YouTube channel as well. And that scared me because I've literally, this may sound crazy, I have never filmed with anyone. I've never even had Josh film me. He won't even be near me when I'm filming. I get really shy. So I was like, right, let's just get out of the comfort zone and do that. And so it's been really fun. It's been a really good week. So that video, I need to edit it. as you can imagine, this week I've been struggling to get all that stuff up, but it needs to be edited and then it will be up shortly. So you can check that out, especially if you're a beginner. It's a good bouldering video. So that is pretty much what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. And November is already looking pretty hectic too. I have so many videos I have so many videos filmed already. I have SD cards sitting with loads of footage on, but I have just not had a chance to edit it or get it uploaded. So that is kind of like my goal for this month. If you guys have anything that you want to see in a video or any topics that you want me to particularly cover, then just comment it as we're chatting. I know I've asked you before and I've got all your suggestions written down and I kind of try to follow them as much as possible. But yeah, so many videos planned and I have so many videos that I want to film. Like I'm super excited and inspired at the moment to do loads of YouTube stuff. But I just literally have to find the time because there's lots of other projects going on as well. So one exciting thing is that later this month, I'm going to be releasing an app. And I've been working on this for a while and I've had to actually push it back because I just didn't have the time that I needed to commit to it. But in terms of my coaching, obviously I do like one-to-one coaching. That would be my main job as being a personal trainer. And I do that online. And then I have my ebook. But other than that, I had a second ebook in the making. It's practically finished. If you guys saw it, it would look completely finished. But there's few things I just need to get done and I still haven't managed to get around to doing it. So I never actually got that second ebook out. And now I'm at the point where an app just seems like a better option because I can be a bit more interactive and I can actually make it a bit more of a community feel. And to me, community is a huge, huge aspect. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to think of a name for it, but I still haven't got one. So if anyone is really good with names, branding names, then let me know because otherwise it's just going to have to be my name. And we're probably all sick of that. So that is exciting, but lots of work that needs to go into that in the next couple of weeks. I don't know what is going on with my baby hair. I've got like a full on, what the heck? It's like going crazy, isn't it? Yeah, so I've got this app coming out and then I'm going to start with a handstand program on there. So I know that I get a lot of questions about handstands and I've already filmed. I'm talking about all these things I've already filmed. I've already filmed a handstand workout that's from the app. So that will be hitting YouTube in the next couple of weeks. So if you're looking for a handstand workout that's new, then that will be up and you can give that a go and get yourselves handstanding over time. There'll be a beginner bodyweight program, which will require no equipment at all. And then I will be uploading stuff to that every month. So then I can go into the intermediate calisthenics. I can do specific skills. I can do basically anything. I could do like a HIIT one as well. So I've got heaps and heaps of ideas and I'm really, really excited. And then, like I say, I really want to make it a community aspect. So having everyone on the app then be able to go to either a Facebook group or a forum area where they can chat as well. So lots and lots of work to do because it's never just as simple as doing the filming. I've done all the filming of the exercises. I've uploaded all of that stuff, but there's so many other things that I need to do, but super, super exciting. And of course, I'll let you guys know when that's happening. So that is the sort of main thing that I'm focused on this month. And then Josh went and put a spanner in the works by putting himself in hospital. So it's just been a bit of a juggling thing, as well as obviously doing coaching as well. But we roll with it. And I'm still feeling good. The one really exciting thing is that my back injury has not hurt me for a while. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was just driving along and I was thinking about the fact that I really didn't talk about my back injury much at all. So much so that if I do mention it now, a lot of people will say, what injury did you have? Or what happened? Because I didn't talk about it. And I'm kind of bummed that I didn't document the process a lot better because it has been going on for over a year now. And honestly, at the beginning of this year, even in January, I didn't think I'd be able to walk properly again. And now I'm able to train pretty much at whatever capacity I want without my back hurting. It has hurt a little bit in the last couple of weeks in terms of sciatica, because I've been sitting a lot more, just going to and from the hospital. But other than that, I have gone through workouts where I've put my body through the ringer and I come out of it and I go, oh my gosh, my back didn't hurt. And I remember my osteopath saying to me, I remember sitting in his office and I said, is this ever going to get better? And he said, one day you will do something and you'll realize there was no pain attached to that. And I sat there, I was like, there's absolutely no way that's going to happen. And it did. And I'm just like mind blown, because it was so hard. And this is why I feel like I wish I had documented it more, because this time last year, I was lying on the floor in chronic pain 24/7, and I genuinely thought it was like a career ending injury. Like, I just did not know what to do, and I realizing as I'm talking I still haven't even mentioned what it was. So basically I had a disc bulge. So I had an L5S1 disc bulge, which is one of the discs which is right at the bottom of your spine, and it's a really big disc. And because it was a bulge, it actually expanded, it burst, well, it doesn't burst, but it expanded to over 50% of the size it should have been. And because that had happened, it happened in like throughout the entire circumference of the disc. So whatever way I moved, it actually put pressure on it and it just wasn't healing. But the main issue was that it displaced the sciatic nerve on the left side of my body. And that's the nerve that runs from the base of your spine to your foot. And if you've had sciatica and like extreme sciatica, you'll know the pain. It is agony. And I was in so much pain. And because whatever way I moved, the disc was pushing on that sciatic nerve, I was just in pain 24/7. So I learned a lot from that injury in terms of how to treat the injury, what I did wrong initially, what I should have done, and what's the best way to treat it. And this is why I really wish I had documented it better. I don't have anything. Like, I just try to keep rolling as much as possible and just taking it one step at a time. I still did my coaching, but I remember like I would be almost crying in pain. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit. It was awful. And even in March this year, driving was really, really hard. Crossing the road and even just twisting my head to look for traffic was so painful. And so I have come so far with that injury, and I just know that it's such a common injury as well, that if people could see that, it would give them hope. And the pain alone is enough to just make you give up hope. So I wish I had, but I'm wondering whether I might be able to pull some stuff together to create a video just for the information. It's a bit like my psoriasis video. It's just there for people to feel like, you know, if they have that, then there's somebody else. They're not alone, because it can be really horrible. And the same with my psoriasis, that it's exactly the same. Whereas you genuinely feel like you're so alone. You feel like you're fighting your own body and that it's not helping you out. And obviously that was a long process for me, and I still have psoriasis. It's not gone away, but I've learned how to manage it, and I learned how to manage my back better as well. So I may or may not make a video, but I would like to eventually make a video just to really chat through kind of the treatments and how it happened and what I did about it and what probably I shouldn't have done initially as well. I do often get asked though, like, did it happen because of exercise? Did I hurt myself doing exercise? And that wasn't the case. So with disc bulges or herniations, there tend to be a variety of factors. It could be wear and tear. It could be somebody who lives quite a sedentary lifestyle, who maybe puts a bit more pressure on the disc. But I think I've pinpointed it to a previous job that I had. So you guys will know probably that I used to work in a casino when I was at university, and I did that for 3 years. And I know a casino sounds like a pretty chilled job, and that it wouldn't have that many injuries, but croupiers actually have a lot of injuries. That is really, really common. And I ended up leaving that job after 3 years because I physically couldn't work anymore. I had been taken off the floor because of injuries, and I wasn't able to deal the cards anymore because it's such a repetitive movement. And so it sounds so crazy. I feel like we've gone on a right tangent here. But I used to deal blackjack and baccarat, and they both are games where you are twisting like this, and you're also leaning slightly over the table, but you're standing. Well, baccarat, you're sitting, blackjack, you're standing. And so it was constantly like this, and you're doing hundreds and hundreds of hands an hour. So after 3 years, when I left that job, I had tendonitis, and I still have these injuries. I had tendonitis in my thumb. I had golfer's elbow. I had tendonitis in my shoulder. I had costochondritis in my chest. And I also had tendonitis in my back as well, sort of near where my lat meets my spine. And I still get those injuries when I do similar movements. Like if I was folding the laundry on my bed, that will start to flare it up. And I think that was probably the wear and tear that my disc got. It was just constantly that twisting movement and like leaning over the table slightly that started to cause the breakdown or the weakness in the surface of the disc. And so I had like little rumblings of this being an issue for a long time, but I genuinely didn't really notice it. And I'm also kind of one of those people that's like, yeah, I'll be all right, just ignore it. And so I had actually had sciatica prior to the disc really going. And I went for a hike and I was like, oh, I'll be fine. Once I warm up, I went on like a 25-mile hike that weekend, came home. And then I was like, well, yeah, this is starting to hurt in the morning when I wake up. And then one morning I woke up and Josh is to blame for a lot of these things at the moment, but I guess you guys haven't seen him too much, but he's a big guy. Like he's 6'4". He's a rugby player. So he's like, really broad. And he gave me a hug. And it was it. It went, and my back just absolutely went. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't move. And that was it. I was in pain. I couldn't put my socks on. I couldn't bend over or anything like that. I couldn't dress myself. Oh, it was awful. So I think it was just years of wear and tear from that job. And then probably a bit of neglect on my part because I just thought, it would be fine. And there we go. Lesson learned. I learned the hard way that you should look after your spine a little bit better. But I've also adapted my training a little bit to help prevent anything like that in the future. And I don't think this is an injury that's going to just necessarily go away. I think I'm always going to have little flare-ups of it throughout my life. But it's just one of those things that you just have to manage, just like any injury that you've had that's major or any major trauma. So anyway, really long story short, it is feeling so much better. And I feel so excited to be able to train again. And don't get me wrong, there's days where I do not want to train, but I remember distinctly sitting in my living room in there when I was trying to stretch. I was literally just trying to sit on the floor with my legs out in front of me, crying in so much pain. And I said to myself, you will never take for granted movement ever again. And like, I appreciate it so much now when I'm doing something that I really hate, and I'm talking like hollow body holds or even sometimes pull-ups when they feel really hard. I just go to myself, just remember how fortunate you are. Like I still feel lucky to be able to sit on the side of my bed and put my socks on. I feel lucky to be able to bend down and pick Hugo up. Although he's quite heavy now, so I still have to brace my spine for it. Just simple as putting your shoes on, taking the garbage out, being able to get into the car without any pain. These things I probably took for granted before, and I will never ever take them for granted again. So huge lesson learned, and I'm just so excited to be on the other end of it, although I still have to be mindful. I can't remember if I told you guys that after my MRI last year, I got referred to a surgeon, and I went to see him in April this year, and he was very keen to give me surgery. Yes, I did mention it in a video because I remember a lot of people commenting. So thank you for your comments. It definitely gave me something to think about, and I ended up finding an osteopath, going to see him, and he's the one who's treated me ever since. And I've come a long way. So yes, thank you so much for all your advice, because I really appreciated it. And I know that a lot of you know people who have had similar injuries, and it's really helped knowing their experiences with and without surgery. So yeah, really positive. Right, I'm going to have a little read through some of these comments and see what we have. Also, I hope that you guys will like this video, but I'm going to be making, because I'm seeing a couple about fat loss and calisthenics and stuff like that. I'm going to be making a video soon, in the next couple of weeks, and it's basically going to be how I lost weight, but like my daily routine. So what I changed and how I changed things. And I'll include what I ate in a day as an example. And I'm also going to show you the workouts that I would have done as well. Just because I think I've seen a workout fat loss, which workout's best for fat loss, or which calisthenics videos I have are best for fat loss. I know that you guys probably know that exercise is not the primary way of burning calories. It's really not the be all and end all. In fact, to me, I always say that exercise is like, there's so many other benefits to exercise that have nothing to do with fat loss. For fat loss, you want to be in a calorie deficit. You want to be able to manage what you're eating and through nutrition. That's going to be the easiest and best way to do it. In terms of exercise, yes, it helps, but there is no right way to exercise. And the most important thing is that you can just stay consistent and you feel good and you feel healthy and that you have a fulfilled life. So in terms of exercise, you just do what feels good to you. It could be as simple as walking. I love walking. It's so underrated. It could be swimming. It could be dancing. It could be playing Beat Saber. We all know I love that too. It could be doing high intensity training if you love to get sweaty. It could be lifting weights. It could be a mixture of all of them. But when I was losing weight, I did HIIT workouts. And that is because my mindset back then was very, very different to, or not my mindset, but my knowledge back then was very different to what I know now. So I'm going to take you back to that time and I'm just going to show you what I did. But I'm also going to explain now from my perspective why it worked, but also what you could do differently or why you don't have to do it the same way. So yeah, I'm going to show you the workouts. I'm actually kind of excited because I'm actually going to do one of the workouts in the video. And I remember them being very, very, very hard. And let's face it, I don't train quite the same way anymore. In fact, when I was training for the High Rocks competition at the weekend, I was doing some of their workouts, and I suppose it's like functional endurance. So you've got running, a lot of running in there, and then you've also got some cardio aspects like rowing and skiing, if you know what that is. But then it's also cut in with lots of functional training, and you're sort of working in the endurance rep range. So let's say farmers carries, we've got things like sandbag lunges, we had burpee broad jumps, sled push, sled pull, all that sort of stuff. And so you're interspersing that with your cardio. And let me tell you, it kicked my butt. I only found out about 2.5 weeks before I was going that I was going to be competing. And so I thought, right, I'm going to try one of these workouts. And I did one and I just got to the end of it. And it was like the last little sort of burner at the end. And it was 30 calories on the rower, 30 burpees and 30 lunges, straight into 20 calories, 20 lunges, or 20 burpees, sorry, 20 lunges, and then 10, 10, 10. And I got to the middle of my 30 burpees and I just looked at Josh because he was in the gym at the time. And I was like, I cannot do this. I am not fit enough for this, but ended up having so much fun and enjoying that style of training, like getting a sweat on. I really have neglected that side of it, and it's made me really passionate about getting into that like sweaty endurance training again. So I did actually want to share this with you on YouTube, as in I was going to film the training process for it because it was so different. And then I get so awkward filming in the gym and I just kept forgetting my camera and I just was like, no. So you don't get to see it, but I might include it in another video. But yeah, it did remind me of how much I really enjoyed doing HIIT when I was losing weight. And, you know, it's not the be all and end all, but it's short and sharp. Well, the videos I did weren't short. That's why I'm so worried, because they were like 60 minutes long. But I'm going to show you anyway through the video what I ate in a day as an example, how I adapted my eating because I didn't track my calories. I didn't even know what a calorie was at the time. And then also show you kind of the exercise side of things and how I changed my activity, but also answer some of your common questions. I get a lot of questions still about like how long it took to see the first results, what type of exercise I did, do I have loose skin, stretch marks, that sort of stuff. So I'm going to discuss all that. So I'm hoping that will be a good video for you guys to watch. Fingers crossed. I'm actually really looking forward to filming that one. So yeah, it's going to be throwback to old Lucy a couple of years ago. But yeah, it'll be fun. Right, let's have a look through some of these questions. I knew I'd do this. I get on here and I swear I just talk and talk and talk. How long has it been? Oh, it's been half an hour already. Unbelievable. Right. So the first question, how old am I? How old do I look? People always say I look younger than I am. And they always think Josh is really old. This always makes me laugh. If he's ever on my Instagram stories, people always say that is that your dad? It's so bad. I don't know if you know what Josh looks like, but this is what Josh looks like. It's really bright. But anyway, he's got, I can't see it. He's got grey hair, like silver hair, silver fox. And he's obviously a lot bigger than I am. And then people think I'm younger than I actually am. So it looks like there's a huge age difference, but there's only 1.5 years between us. I'm 32 in December. So yeah, definitely getting well into my 30s now. So yeah, December 14th is my birthday. December's looking like a crazy month. Are you guys excited for Christmas? I genuinely am this year. I really, really am. My brother, sister-in-law, and my baby niece, who I've never met, she's 1 year old, she's just turned 1, are all flying back from America for Christmas. And I am so excited. And first, I get to meet my niece. And secondly, I haven't seen my brother and sister-in-law in, I think it was, 2 years. It'll be 2 years at Christmas. So I'm so excited to see them. I hope you guys have all got good, exciting plans. We're going to do something with a loved one. Right. Right. Do you have any tips on changing your lifestyle while struggling with depression? So I've very briefly mentioned this in the past, that I did go through a period of having depression for about 2-3 years. And I also had really quite severe health anxiety. And I remember distinctly that I really struggled to maintain a healthy lifestyle through that time, because I just wanted to wake up and stare at a wall. That's all I wanted to do. What really helped for me was routines and structure, but forcing myself to do those things. It wasn't as simple as making a choice. And at the time I was working and I was at university. So in a way, I didn't really have a choice about having to do things. Now it would be a bit of a different story being self-employed. I could easily just choose to stare at a wall, but I would have to really, really push through that. So structure and routines, for me, in my experience, were really useful. I think if you, in terms of depression and anxiety and mental health, if you haven't sought help, that really helps, because it's really hard to change your lifestyle or to try to do something different when the underlying reason goes unresolved. So for me, I had depression for about 2 years and I was having panic attacks regularly. And there was one day I went into work, I had a panic attack and I got sent home and they said, you're going to have to go to the doctor and get a sick note, even though I'd been in work. And the only doctor that was open at that time was not my regular doctor. So I booked an appointment and went and got a certificate. And she said, okay, what are you doing for treatment? And I said, nothing. And she goes, you've not seen a psychologist? And I said, no. And she said, okay, I'm going to refer you to one. And so she gave me the referral. I rang them, I booked an appointment. I had ignored all the other referrals in the past because I was like, I don't need one. And when I eventually went, that was when everything started to change. It wasn't easy by any means, but I saw that psychologist for 3 years and I see him like maybe once a week. It got to once a fortnight and then once a month. And that was a huge game changer, because if you've not been to therapy or like to see a psychologist, it can be quite daunting, or it's like a bit hard to understand what to expect. But they don't just sit there and tell you the answer to everything. What they make you try to do is understand why you act in a certain way and maybe how you could adjust your thinking. But if you say something, they kind of switch it back onto you and that was my experience anyway, where they actually make you think about it. And so that was really helpful. So if you do have anything, definitely seek help. It will benefit you so much in the long run. But also just be kind to yourself as well and do things that you enjoy. So, I think when people are trying to change their lifestyle to be healthier, or whatever they're trying to do, everyone sort of jumps in 2 feet, like they just go right in the deep end. They try to take on so many things, and it's not necessarily stuff that they want to do or that fits in with their lifestyle. So don't be afraid to just do what feels good for you, and really listen to your body as much as possible, and just be kind to yourself, because it can be really easy just to be super hard on yourself, and that's just not going to help in any way. A Lucy Lismore and Fitness FAQs collaboration. If you don't know who Fitness FAQs is, it's Daniel Vadnor. He has a very popular YouTube channel about calisthenics. He's also an absolute beast. Actually, fun fact, he lives in Melbourne, and I did train with him once. When I was a beginner, when I was just starting to go to the calisthenics park, I met an Instagram friend who does handstands. He's a circus trainer, actually, in Melbourne. And one day he was like, "Oh, do you want to come down the park and do handstands?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I was really, really not great at handstands at the time. And he goes, "Oh yeah, my friend's coming." And it was Daniel Radnor. And so, yeah, I had a little bit of a training session with him together. They were doing one arm handstands, and I was just doing regular handstands. So there you go. That was probably about 3 years ago, something like that. It was just before I moved out of Melbourne. Did you miss the bad weather in the UK, or why did you leave Australia? I lived in Melbourne, where the weather is also really, really bad. So I actually still regularly look at the Melbourne weather forecast, and I'm pretty sure they've had the same weather as us for the last several weeks. But I moved back to the UK. The main reason was ultimately to be closer to family, but there was other reasons as well. But I am a dual citizen, so I have the choice to go back and forth. But yeah, they both got their pros and cons. And at the moment, I'm sort of happy and sort of, I'm in the UK now, and I feel like, even though I feel more Australian than in English, even though I am English originally, like I was born in England, I'm starting to settle in here now. I'm starting to find my feet, to really become a true Brit. All those fish and chips and potato heavy meals, I don't know if I could go without them again. I purchased 3 resistance bands and rings. Oh, awesome. That's so exciting. I'm excited to, you have to let me know what you do on the rings. I literally was just playing with my rings today. I got some wooden ones from Bulldog Gear as well. And yeah, I was doing some nice and easy bodyweight rows, such a good exercise. But yeah, rings are so much fun. They really level up your training, right? It's fun. How do you deal with your psoriasis and everyday showers after your workout? When my skin was bad, so take it back to Melbourne, it's going to be too long for me to get a picture. If you want to see any pictures of what my skin used to look like, just look at the video on my channel. I've got loads of pictures throughout it. But my skin I wish I could find it, but I don't think it will show up on the screen anyway. It used to be so painful after exercise, so much so that it would actually put me off wanting to do the exercise. It would be like purple. That would be the color of it. Moisturize, just moisturize. At the moment, for example, at the moment, if I get stressed out, I get a lot of it on my face. So my forehead will break out. I get a lot in my hairline. I've actually still got a bit on my neck at the moment. And then I get it around my nose, these little red bits here, and my whole face. I just smear my face in Vaseline, absolutely smear it in Vaseline, especially in winter. Like if I'm going for a run, it will aggravate it so much. So even if I don't have psoriasis, I will just put Vaseline on those areas just to keep it as sealed in as possible. So that would be my suggestion. And then if you have a shower afterwards, moisturize straight away. Nice moisturizer that works for you. I went through probably about 50 moisturizers in Melbourne. I threw them all out when I moved back, and I was like, wow, I must have spent a lot of money on moisturizer. But I found the Aveeno one is really good for me. I mean, it's different for everybody. So Aveeno was quite good, and Jurgen's, which they sell in Australia, you can get it at some places in the UK. And now I just use the Aveeno one. So yeah, that's my suggestion. It's just that, and hydrate as much as possible. But obviously, exercise is a form of stress, and it tends to be a good form of stress on your body. But if you have an autoimmune disease, it is going to put a little bit of stress on your immune system. So just be mindful of like the intensity that you're working out to. So if you're having a flare up, for example, you just know that if you were to work out at high intensity and get really sweaty, it's probably going to make it worse. So just be mindful of that. yeah, that's from my experience. Also, you could just hit up your doctor if you've got a good doctor. It's a bit hit and miss, isn't it, with doctors sometimes, and autoimmune diseases. Any suggestions for gentle exercises for sciatica that a woman in her 80s could do? There is quite a few, but I will direct you to a video that was given to me when I had sciatica, and it's yoga with Adrienne sciatica. Just go YouTube it and it will come up. She's got some fantastic stuff. But in terms of exercises, you probably want to be doing things like glute bridges will help, core exercises as well. Anything that puts you into back extension will probably be better for you, which means coming backwards rather than forwards. So anything like that, even a cobra where you're just like lying on your tummy on the floor, hands sort of where your shoulders are, and you're just going to push up, should be quite nice. But just double check with your doctor as well before you go, because it can be a bit different for everyone. And definitely check out that yoga with Adrienne. There was also another lady. If I remember her name, I'll let you know. But I remember one night I was in my lounge room. It was dark. It was winter last year. I was in so much pain, but I hadn't done any exercise in about 4 or 5 months. And I was just crying my eyes out. And I was like, I just want to do something. And so I was Googling sciatica-friendly workouts in YouTube. I keep saying Googling. I was YouTubing sciatica-friendly workouts. And I found this lovely woman. And she did like a sciatica-friendly cardio. And it was super simple. Nothing too intense at all. It was all standing and sciatica friendly, and it was great. I don't remember her name. I'll just try and look it up while we're having a chat. But yeah, she was lovely, and she's got lots of videos for exercise. Do you have specific moves for back muscle training? I have pain from sitting the whole day. Yeah, it's quite common to have back pain from sitting a lot, and what we're talking about is sort of your posterior chain, which is the back side of your body. So you've got your anterior chain, which is anything that you'll see when you stand in front of someone. And then your posterior chain is all the muscles that you don't see. And posterior chain training, wow, that's a tongue twister. Posterior chain training is a little bit neglected. It's just one of those things where you think about what we do throughout the day. We use our front side of our body quite a lot for picking things up or moving things around, but we don't really train our back as much. So it tends to be a little bit weaker. And then if you're sitting, you tend to hunch over a little bit and it just gets a bit weaker. So just like the previous one, back extension work is going to be fantastic. So you can just do things like dorsal raises. So hands here, and just like lying on the floor, extending your back up. And then once you progress, you can take your feet off the floor too. You can use a band as well. So you can use that like that and put it towards your chest. If you do have access to a bar, pull-ups, if you can do assisted pull-ups, that's going to be useful. Bodyweight rows, you could do that on a Smith machine. You can do that at a park. If you have a pair of rings, you can do that as well. You can even do it on your door frame. So you can just hold on to, did I show this in a video? I don't think I have actually. I did it on Instagram, but you can just hold on to the door frame and basically row, and you're just going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. That's going to be a really great exercise. If you do have dumbbells, or you could use tin cans, you can do flies. So you're just training any back muscles that you really can. Glute bridges are a fantastic way. Sounds like it's mainly a glute exercise, but it uses your posterior chain as well. So glute bridges could be quite useful as well. I'm trying to find this lady's workouts. Oh, hang on a second. Sciatica friendly. I'm just talking to you guys while I type. I'm like an old lady. I was like, can't do it. Right, here we go. Paula B Fitness. Let me see if I can bring her thing up so you can see what it looks like. I'm getting her in my headphones. I don't know if I just disconnected my headphones, but this is her. It's all backwards. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's her. So you can check her out. She's got lots of workouts, really, really, really lovely personality as well, which is the best thing. Just let me know if you can't hear me for any reason. Oh, you know her. Oh, fantastic. All right, I've missed so many questions. I'm so sorry. Thank you about the stretching video. I haven't done that one in a while. I might have to do that. I'm really bad at stretching. I don't enjoy it. I think you're one of those people in the world, you either like stretching or you don't, and I hate it. But it's a necessary evil. I always say to myself, I'm going to learn how to do the splits. Like I'm actually going to do it. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, just film it for a YouTube video. I'm like the least flexible person ever. People actually, it's crazy to me that people think I'm a gymnast. Like when I'm in the gym training, so like nearly every day somebody will come up to me when I do like whatever, because I just do weird stuff in the gym. They will come up and they will say, oh, are you a gymnast, or are you like super flexible or something like that, or are you trained? I'm like, no, definitely not. They're like, are you an athlete? I'm like, no, just an absolutely normal person. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, thanks, Jack, about the documenting it. Do you know what it is? Is like I have this huge concern. You guys can let me know what your thoughts are. I have this huge concern that I will come across as negative, as like a woe is me. You know, like everyone's got problems in their lives, right? Everyone's got stresses. They've got obstacles that they've got to overcome. They've got injuries, niggles, whatever it is. Everyone's going through something at every time. And I feel like when I have something that's genuinely really affecting me, I don't want to be that person who's just constantly talking about it. Or even if I mentioned it like once or twice, I still feel guilty about mentioning it. And it's not because I don't want to share it. It's because I don't want people to be like, yeah, we know, but everyone else has got problems. But that being said, when I see other people sharing stuff like that, I actually really like it. And I don't ever think like that. So you can let me know what your thoughts are on that sort of stuff. But that's why I tend to not really document it or say anything about it, because I just don't want to be negative. I want this to be a positive place. And I am by nature a people pleaser, and I would do anything to see other people happy and to see other people feel better about themselves. And so for me, the thought of somebody walking away and feeling negative or feeling like drained from seeing something that I do, or just worse about themselves in any way, is just not an option, which is why I don't really talk about it. And it's the same with like with Josh, for example, being in hospital. Like I've really struggled because it's just hard to see someone that you love like really unwell, and it is just bad. My light's starting to flash because it's overcharged. Yeah, it's just hard to see someone that you love like in a position of like weakness and not well. And it was really hard because I was seeing him and he couldn't even talk to me. He couldn't breathe properly, and like I'm sitting there for like 4 hours in the room with him, and I'm trying to maintain like normality. You know, I'm trying to come home and like keep the house running. I'm trying to keep my business running and like talk to my clients and make sure they're all doing really well. And I'm trying to make sure that, you know, little things like Hugo's all right, and making sure that the like Australian tax has to be done, and all this stuff. And then I'm just worried about him, and I'm trying to communicate with all the family members and everything like that. And it's just stuff like that I kind of want to share that. I want to say, okay, this is what's going on. But I also don't want to come across as being like, oh, well, can everyone sort of think about me? Like, I don't like that. Sounds weird, but I don't like being the sort of center of attention or anything like that, which is why I don't really talk about it. And that was kind of where I was coming at with my back injury. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at it, but I still struggle with it a lot. Do I have any openings for one-to-one training? It's currently waitlisted, and I really, really don't like doing that. So if you go on my website, you'll see it says join the wait. I think it says join the waitlist. I put. You can just fill out the form, and then I have it banked up because I don't have any spaces at the moment. That is basically why I'm doing the app, because I just don't have the capacity, and I want to be able to help people. That's my priority. But I also I'm just one person. I do literally everything myself. Like I film everything myself. And let me tell you, I cannot use a camera. You'll see it in my YouTube videos now. I've said it. The lighting, I'm so bad at all that sort of stuff. So it takes me forever. I do all the editing, which is why the editing is very mediocre. Because again, I'm just self-taught. I do all the voiceovers. I do the thumbnails, not great either. I do all my coaching, even my website I wrote, you know, literally everything is done by me. And so I'm just at the point now that just before I went to Croatia, I didn't tell you guys much about Croatia, but just before I went to Croatia, I was at breaking point. I was like, just one more thing, and it's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I just had so many things going. And so I was like, right, I need to think of a better solution. And that's why the app came about. So like I said, I'm still working on it, but you will be in the know as soon, or in the loop as soon as it launches. If you want to put yourself on the wait list, you can, but I'm not sure how it's going to be, unfortunately. I do really want to do another intake, but I just need to get the app launch out of the way for now. And also I'm trying to have a little bit more work-life balance. I'm not great at it, but I'm trying. So yeah, it just means that it's that typical thing of fit your own oxygen mask before you help others. And I was at the point where I felt like I was going to start doing a bad job because I was neglecting my own health. So yeah, I, again, went on a complete tangent. I shouldn't even talk. I shouldn't even do lives. I just end up talking rubbish. My weekly workout, that is another video that I'm going to film soon, but I did film one a couple of weeks ago. No, it would have been a couple of months ago now. It should be one of the more recent videos. It's so varied. My training changes constantly. I do certain things in calisthenics, so like my foundation exercises, I will work on those. So my dips, my pull-ups, chin-ups, core exercises, my handstands, they're all pretty solid. Like I'll do them multiple times a week. But other than that, absolutely random. Sometimes I boulder, sometimes I hike, sometimes I cycle. I've started swimming. I had this urge to do a triathlon, so we'll see if that even happens. I'll YouTube it if I do. I just so varied. Like I said, I've been doing the high rocks training, so I've been doing functional endurance. I might even try CrossFit now because I really enjoyed that and just want to try something different. So it is so random, and it really just goes off how I feel and what I feel like doing. And I think for me, that is the best way to keep myself excited and engaged, because I don't train for aesthetics. I don't train for necessarily a specific goal. Like I have some small goals, like obviously I'd like to do a 1-arm handstand. I'd like to be able to do a few more chin-ups and pull-ups, because quite frankly, trying to train them back up from when my back injury kind of got to the point where I could start training again, I couldn't even hang on the bar for 3 seconds again. Like my hands were so sore, my arms were burning. And so I'm still trying to work up from that. We're getting there slowly, but it's a slow progress. So in terms of my training, I just feel like I can be flexible with it because I don't have any specific reason for training other than for enjoyment and for just generally feeling healthy. Like for me, the most important thing with my training is that I have generally a good fitness level. If you were a runner and I came with you for a 5K, 10K run, I could somewhat keep up. I'm not going to be able to win the race, but I could complete an entire 10K or a 5K run. If you were a CrossFitter and you wanted to go and do some lifting, I could take part. Like I would know how to lift, and I might not be able to lift a huge amount or for high reps, but I could at least sort of somewhat keep up. So to me, that's what my goal is general fitness. And so it gives me that flexibility, which is awesome. It's crazy how much the sedentary lifestyle affects you. It's not relaxing at all, being an online student. Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? I think we've all kind of seen that in the last year, about how a sedentary lifestyle feels more so than what we're used to, but also how active we didn't realize we were. Like even I felt it when things started opening back up over here in the UK, and you could just nip into town and pick up, whatever it is, or walk around the shops, or you could actually go and do your grocery shopping or whatever it was. You realize, how did I do all this before? When before the lockdown, I was a PT based in a gym. I would be up at 4 a.m. I'd be at the gym for like 5:30. I would be there until 8 or 9 at night. And in between that, I'd be like doing stuff. Like, so when you had a client, if you had like an hour or two gap, I would quickly run into town, and that would be like a couple of kilometers run. Then I'd be teaching classes, and then I'd be doing this and that. And when I went back to it, I was like, even just nipping in for a coffee in time was like, wow, this is tiring. So it makes you realize just how much you were doing before as well, which is insane. As you think about all the commuting and all that sort of stuff that we do, it's nuts. What would I say to patients of psoriasis? I would say take your condition into your own hands in terms of use yourself and really experiment with what is going to be individually affecting you and what's going to be the best treatment for you. Don't just blindly go off what the doctors say, because I did for so long. And it's not to say they were wrong, not at all, but it was only when I started to be really proactive with my own health that I started to notice a difference. So definitely just be proactive, try different things. It could be diet, could be lifestyle. For me, certain dietary things, and now there's certain things I will minimize, there's certain things I won't have at all. And then stress is huge. Like for me, as soon as I get stressed, 2 weekends ago I got upset over something, and I remember going, I'm going to regret this, because my skin's going to flare up. 2 days later, it started to itch straight away. 2 days later, my entire forehead broke out with psoriasis. It's just one of those things, like I just know it's going to happen. So stress was a huge one. Did I lose? Yeah, I get this question a lot. Did my boobs get smaller when I lost weight? Yeah, seriously smaller. Like I used to be a double D, and now I don't even know what I am. I live in sports bras, so I wouldn't even know what bra size I am. They're so small that I wouldn't need a bra if I was to wear one. So I literally often just wear sports bras when I go out, like underneath my jumpers and stuff. It's so much more comfortable as well. So yes, I did lose. In fact, I think, if I remember rightly, I think I probably lost my boobs first. Like that would be the first place to go. This is something that, I might mention in that video, but this is something that comes up time and time again. It's like spot reduction, where you can lose fat, or why you lose fat in a certain area. It's just genetics. Like if you continue to be consistent with losing weight, it will eventually come from those areas, but your genetics are going to largely dictate where you lose weight from initially, and you are always going to lose it in different places. And it's going to be sod's law that it's the place that you don't want to lose it from that you lose it from first. So that was for me the case. And it's still the same. I literally have always had like I'm bottom heavy, got big hips, got a big butt, I got big thighs, and I still do. And if I was to like gain a little bit of body fat now, it goes straight to there. Like it doesn't disperse equally, it just goes straight to there. So it's just one of those things, you just have to accept it. But yeah, boobs definitely got a lot smaller. And to be honest with you, I'm happy about it. I don't mind. How do you get into the right mindset for weight loss? Honestly, just finding a way that works for you. Don't enter it thinking it's going to be a quick fix. You really need to think about just changing your lifestyle for the better and what works for you, what you're going to enjoy. It's just a long journey. This is something I've been wanting to make a video about this, but I can't quite put my finger on what the topic is. But essentially, there's something that I see time and time again. I'm in a very privileged position of being a trainer now. So I see a lot of people's journeys in terms of weight loss. And obviously I've got my own to draw upon. And so something that I experienced that I've never seen spoke about, I see time and time again happen. And that is that people say they want to lose weight, and that's like kind of their goal. So they'll set out doing that. And as they start to do that, a lot of other stuff is going to come up. So challenges, obstacles, things that maybe they believe about themselves, and that stops them from making progress in terms of weight loss. And then it was only when they start to let go of feeling like they have to be eating in a calorie deficit and exercising and doing all the right things, and they start to address those issues that they're starting to identify, do they seem to be able to go, okay, now I can make this a lifestyle. And so for me, I didn't necessarily have that same experience, whereas I did make changes and I did lose weight. But when I got to the point where I was healthy, I wasn't happy. It didn't give me the result that I wanted to. I still felt exactly the same way. And that was when I've made a video on this topic. It's the one I said why losing weight didn't make me happy. But essentially, when I started doing calisthenics, that's when I noticed those things started to change. And I think had I not identified those issues through doing calisthenics, potentially I would have gained weight back again. I'm not sure. But basically, through calisthenics, you know, I felt like I had a sense of purpose. I had a community. I was happy. I was enjoying what I was doing. And it took away some of my self-consciousness. It took away some of my like poor self-belief and gave me kind of the friendships that I needed that helped me to maintain it and to really feel like fulfilled. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like a hard topic for me to get around, but it's something that I can identify with when I see a lot of people going through that. What's your take on makeup? Do you use it a lot? Do you like putting it? I am awful at makeup. I am awful. This is something that really, really triggers me, is that like I said this on Instagram the other day, my eyebrows are never the same. I know they are like sisters and not twins. And like, I know that this is a normal thing because I have recently been getting my eyebrows tinted, and the lady who's been doing them, she told me that, and apparently, I think if I remember rightly, it's the right eyebrow. You can tell me this if you guys know, if you're a makeup artist or anything like this. The right eyebrow tends to be sparser and also a different shape, like it's just not as full and it's not as nice a shape. But basically that is me, and I cannot, it's so stressful. Every morning I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this pressure. And so when I watch my videos back sometimes for editing, I'm just looking, I'm like, oh my gosh, my eyebrows are so wonky. But they're wonky without makeup. I can't fix it. I'm really bad at makeup. I look at girls that can put on, or guys that can put on a full face of makeup and look unreal, and I just like mesmerized. I had a client and her makeup was phenomenal. Like, I still look at her Instagram. Emily, I'm talking about you. I still look at her Instagram and I'm like, girl, your makeup is insane. She's so good. Her skin looks flawless. I do not have those skills. So I literally wear tinted SPF. I've been wearing the Charlotte Tilbury one because I'm hoping it will give me a little bit of life. So I bought that. I just went in and I was like, have you got anything that's going to make me look healthier? And they were like, this SPF's got a little bit of like tint in it. Or it's not even tinted, it's just like glowy. I wear that. I put a tiny bit of concealer under my eyes to kind of bring the color back to my face a little bit. And sometimes I will put some bronzer on. I do my eyebrows. And then I do some mascara. But honestly, I said this to Josh the other day. I said, if I got, you know how when people get married or they have a big event and they get their makeup done professionally, I don't see that ever happening for me, because I think I would look ridiculous with a full face of makeup. And I have never, ever had a full face of makeup. So if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Anyone's a makeup artist, could be fun. But yeah, I think it's amazing. And I would love to be one of those people that can sit there and like play with makeup and do amazing things. I just don't have those skills. I do not at all. I may be able to walk on my hands better than my feet, but I cannot do makeup. What else weird? How do you change from weight loss to maintenance? So you just want to reduce, obviously, increase your calories to your maintenance. So if you're tracking, that will be easier for you. So you can calculate your TDEE, then bring your calories up to that. It's a learning process. And maintenance, I've made a post about this before on Instagram, and I think this is a really important point. Maintenance is going to be changing all the time. So, you know, for me, since I reached a healthy weight, because I never really had a goal weight, since I reached a healthy weight to now has been maybe like 4 years, something like that, 4.5 years. My weight has fluctuated enormously in that time, you know, probably 10 kilos either way. And the way I look has changed as well, because my training's changed. You get injuries, you get times where you just don't train, you have times where you eat differently. The weather can affect that, whether you're in a relationship, when you're not, whether you're socializing a lot, all that sort of stuff affects it. So your maintenance is always going to be changing. You're never going to be one way the entire time. So just remember that will be the case. And for me, it's been years of like learning what I really like, what works for me, ways of eating that I like, and all that sort of stuff, and just changing it and adapting as your life changes as well. So really just, again, I like to sort of think of it as using your body as a bit of an experiment to see what feels good for you. When trying to get healthy, what do you focus on? Ideal weight, body, meals, endurance, strength? Is that me personally? I'm not sure if that is me personally, but I'll answer it personally. For me, actually, this is an interesting question. I was listening to a James Smith podcast on my walk this morning, and he was talking to somebody, and they were talking about what health is. They were talking about it in regards to Men's Health magazine, and how they have the picture of like a ripped guy underneath it. And James Smith was saying that to him, that's not what health is. And I was thinking it's quite an interesting question, is like, what to you is health? Like, what's healthy? To me, healthy is like you're happy, you're balanced, you're feeling like you have a balanced life, you have a work-life balance, your mental health is good, your physical health is good, because there's definitely, like, they're not two things that are exclusive. So that is important, that you sleep well, that you're eating balanced, you're having things that you like, you're not feeling like you're constantly restricted, that you don't feel emotional about the way you eat necessarily, like where it's really hard for you to eat a meal, for example, like you don't have those challenges. To me, that's what health is. And then in terms of exercise, like I mentioned before, it's more just going, do I feel healthy? Does my body feel good? Do I feel functional? Like that's the word. Do I feel functional? Can I do my laundry with ease? Can I pick up my massive cat without doing my back in? Can I get in and out of the car easily? Can I walk and do my groceries and carry a big backpack full of groceries home? That to me is health, and it's all about balance, really. So that would be something, and that's something that I advocate for. You'll hear it time and time again in what I say, because that to me is the most important thing. And this is something else that I think about all the time is, you guys know I struggle with imposter syndrome a lot, and I know nearly everybody has imposter syndrome with some part of their life. But I'm not the best person in the world at pull-ups by any means. I'm not the best person at handstands. I am not flexible. I am not the fastest runner. All these different things. And sometimes I'm like, really can be quite hard on myself about it. And I think, how can I not be able to do these things well? This is my job. Like, this is, why potentially people follow me. This is why people want to coach with me. But then I also have to remember that it's not about being the best at those things, because everyone knows that I'm not the best. I'm not the best at pull-ups. That's fine. Like, I'm not. But it's the fact that I have been in the position that so many other people are, and I can remember what that feels like. And I still have the same challenges that a lot of people experience too. And I think that's a really important way to be able to think about it, is that where you've come from, like, am I healthier than I was before? Do I feel better? Do I have better mental health? Do I have better physical health? Do I feel more functional? Whatever it is that is important to you, like taking it back to where you were in the past. Have I improved a little bit for whatever matters to you? And that's really important. And that's something that I have to keep coming back to as well. Getting better sleep. Oh, my mum would love this question. She loves sleep. She's always talking about sleep. She would say, because I'm just going to say what she would say, sleep hygiene. And I'm really bad at this, because at the moment I've been going to bed because Josh isn't there. It's so cold in bed. So I'm there with I literally slept with two long sleeve t-shirts, a jumper, track pants, socks, and a hot water bottle last night, and 2 blankets. And I was still shivering at 3 a.m. But I go to bed and I've been watching Face Off on Amazon Prime, which is like a prosthetics competition. And I literally fall asleep, my laptop playing. It's so bad. It's really, really bad. My mum would be cringing if she saw that, but she won't watch this video, so it's fine. But yeah, sleep hygiene is really important. So making sure when you go to bed, you have a good environment to sleep, that you don't go on your technology, don't go on your phone, even have your phone out of the room. I find that helps a lot with sleep. Like, when I actually genuinely turn my phone off and leave it in a different room. I don't do that regularly, but when I do, I sleep like a baby. So that's a really good one as well, making sure you're not having caffeine too late. Although that being said, when I came home from the hospital a couple of hours ago, I did have a coffee. So I'll probably be up, which is probably why You can't shut me up right now. Right, let's see. Do I keep a little garden of any kind? No, I live in an apartment, so there's no garden, unfortunately. Even if it did, there's no hope. You can't see it, but this is a Montserrat and it's not thriving, let's say. I think I need to stick to cactus, like cacti. I bought a cactus from IKEA. Pedro, you guys saw him in the YouTube video because I was getting all the suggestions for names. We ended up with Pedro. Pedro is thriving. He is thriving. He's going strong. But I did actually recently buy a Calathea from Lidl, £7.99. What bargain. Haven't named him yet. And he's just grown 2 new leaves in the last week. It's very exciting. But no, I'm really bad with plants. Really bad. When living with family, it may be difficult managing nutrition. Any advice to deal with that or how to encourage them to live it? Right. So this comes up so often. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the second part of the question. How do you encourage other people to have a healthier lifestyle or change their eating habits? Honestly, you just can't. You are fighting a losing battle. What I would suggest, the most important thing to do is set an example. So if you feel like a family member, your partner, whatever it is, you want them to exercise more because you're worried about their health or whatever it might be, telling them to go and do exercise is not going to help. Maybe like suggesting that you go and do something together could help, but more so you going out and actually just being able to do something that you enjoy and showing how much it's benefiting you is going to just pay off so much more than trying to ask someone or tell someone to do something. And it's the same with eating as well. So set an example and just focus on yourself, and in time they will come, but you will never ever be able to help somebody who's not ready to help themselves. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Eating healthily or changing your nutrition when you live with family is really challenging. You have to be a little bit more rigid with what you want and really push it. You can make little switches. So for example, if you're in a position where it will be pretty much impossible to have separate meals, like completely different, that's totally fine. You can just adapt the meals that you do have. So that's something that I would do with certain clients, where you just have a little simple switch where you're just changing out calories or changing out something that you're having, just change it up a little bit. Otherwise, communication is key. So letting them know, like, this is really important to you. Again, it can be really hard at first if they're not seeing progress, and family can be really challenging. I've seen this time and time again with clients where they can be brutal. Like, they can be really brutal. So you just have to stick to your guns, believe in yourself, and find people that will back you. And whether that's a friend, whether that's a partner, whether that's a coach, whatever it is, you need somebody who you can chat to and who will back you and keep you, not motivated, that's not the word, but just, have your back when other people don't. So that could be really useful too. But communication is key. Let them know what you're doing. And if they do have a negative response to it, you just have to use that to fuel your fire. I really think that's the case. Oh no, I just skipped a load of messages. I'm so sorry. Okay, where were we? Were you born in the UK? Yes, I was born in the UK, but I lived in Australia my entire adult life. So I lived in Australia from 18 to 30, and I'm a dual citizen, but I am English. Yeah, I'm not a dual citizen by birth. Get Goosey with Lucy. Is that an app name? Someone used to call me Goosey Lucy at the casino I used to work at, one of my managers, and then he'd come in and he'd go, the goose is loose. That's what he always used to say to me. How many days do I work out a week? I do something every day, but that could be as simple as a walk. But I don't have a set thing. I would say I'm probably at the gym 5 times a week. But bear in mind, it's now my job, so part of my job is to be active, that's one, and I'm filming all the time and doing stuff. So it's not necessarily normal. When I was losing weight, it was a different story. I would train like 5 times a week at home. I never even had a gym membership at all. How do you keep yourself motivated and energetic? I do not. I do not. I love doing stuff like this. I love talking to people. I thrive in that element, but I am not motivated all the time. I am definitely not happy all the time. I am probably my own worst enemy a lot of the time as well. But it's just one of those things that with every bad time, there's going to be a good time as well. So one thing I've really started to be hard on myself about is just shutting my brain up, essentially. So when I start to sort of bully myself in my brain, if I start to doubt myself, it's just being like, shut up. I saw something and it was like Navy SEAL mentality. It goes, instead of just standing there and tearing yourself to shreds and like whinging about it, why don't you go and do something about it? You know, I still have days where I feel so bleh. Like I'll look at myself and I'm like, oh, why do I feel this way? And I'm like, shut up, Lucy. Like if I looked at myself, if I 5 years ago, Lucy, looked at me today, she would not be saying that. And you standing here right now saying that is actually making no benefit to you in any way. So why don't you just go out and do something? Like it's going to be a much better use of your time. I'm really trying to remind myself that life is just far too short. Like it really is too short. Like time is going like that nowadays. And I can't waste more time being miserable. So when I do feel like that and I'm really upset about something or I'm not feeling excited to do something, yeah, there'll be times where I'll just mope around and not do stuff. But a lot of the time I'm just like, just go do something. And you always feel better, even if it's as simple as going for a walk, going and sitting in a cafe and just absorbing the atmosphere or listening to a podcast while you drink a coffee. You're like 9 times out of 10, you're going to feel even just a tiny little bit better by just going and doing something. And that's really important. I've been going to the gym for 2 weeks, but I feel like I can't stand the sense of pain when I get while exercising. Get while exercising? Is it like that feeling of like your muscles working? I'm assuming that's what you mean. It's probably something you will get used to, but it depends what your goals are. Because if you want to progressively overload, if you're trying to get stronger or fitter, obviously you're going to be constantly pushing yourself. So as your fitness level increases or your strength, then you're just going to be increasing the load or whatever it is that you're doing. So yeah, it's something you'll get used to, but you probably will continue to push yourself. So then you won't notice it, but you might get used to the feeling and it won't feel as bad. You might even start to love it. But I'm not sure if I've taken that question the right way. Your videos about mindset and diet have skyrocketed my confidence and progress. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. It really, really does. And sometimes I worry that I sound like a broken record, but the fact that it helps is that's the most important thing. That's another thing that keeps me motivated, especially with work-related things. I can be really hard on myself, and there'll be times where I'm like, why am I doing this? I just feel like I'm sometimes being a bit of a burden, and I just try and remind myself that if it just helps one person, if it just makes one person's day better, that is all that matters, and that's why I keep doing it. So the fact that it helps it means the world to me. It really, really does. My absolute favorite dish, not pizza. That's honestly, that's really hard. And I feel like saying something really, really lame because this is going to sound really, really sad. But at the moment, I've gotten really into the habit of eating very similar things every day because I really enjoy it. And I'm going to have the same thing for dinner tonight. And I swear to God, and I am not lying, I've had this for dinner for probably the last 3 weeks, especially since Josh has been in hospital. It's just me at home. I just love it. So it's just so lame because it's just chicken salad. But basically, it's not just a chicken salad. So it's salad, tomato, cucumber, and onion with a bit of cracked pepper, some red wine vinegar, a bit of olive oil, some salt, some pepper, and then some chili flakes and some garlic granules. Some chicken cooked in like either Cajun seasoning or fajita like powder, something like that, just give it a little bit of flavor. Tofu, which I put nothing on it. It tastes like cardboard, but it's something that I'm like addicted to. So I just fry some tofu, and then I fry mushrooms with garlic, and then I roast broccoli and cauliflower. This is sounding epic, right? I roast broccoli and cauliflower, and I throw the cauliflower and broccoli in with the mushrooms, and I put chow mein sauce on that and some garlic, because I love garlic, even more garlic. And I toss that in the fry pan. And then that goes on my salad with the tofu, with the chicken, sprinkle some more garlic granules on top, some tomato and jalapeno salsa from Lidl. I think it's tomato and jalapeno. And then some literally just normal salsa on the other side. And then some sriracha on top. And then I get a pita, rip it in half, toast it, and I have that on the side. That at the moment to me is like bliss, chef's kiss. I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't think it's my favorite meal ever, but I genuinely can't think. I do quite like an Indian. An Indian's pretty good. There's a really good Indian in Bawtry. If anyone lives in the Midlands, Dower House in Bawtry. Been going there since I was a baby. I'm terrible at makeup too. I never wear it. I mean, if you're terrible at makeup and you never wear it, it saves you money, right? And a lot of effort. Like, genuinely, it's like a win-win, really, isn't it? I hope you know, literally, I bet you a lot of people have noticed. I don't think it's possible to not notice my poor eyebrow game. I would love to know, but yeah, I mean, I can just see it looking in this right now. It's bothering me. I will never watch this video back because it bothers me so much. Right. Anyway. Oh no, I just skipped a load again. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not alone with the eyebrow thing. This is making me feel a bit better. It says, and is there any way that I can get to achieve push-ups by only working on my push-ups, not doing anything else? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If you just do push-ups, you'll be able to do push-ups one day. Yeah, you don't have to do anything else because it works all the muscles you need, and it's a compound movement as well. So it uses a full body movement. It's like multi-joint, multi-muscle. Surprisingly, you know, when you do a push-up with correct form, your glutes are firing, your hamstrings are firing, your quads are firing, and then obviously your upper body and your core as well. So yeah, why not? If that's all you want to do, just do it. I just want to say thank you for the positive energy. The other one who introduced me to calisthenics. Oh, thank you. I love that. I love seeing anyone in calisthenics, but it blows my mind how many women want to do it and like are excited about getting into it. Because I genuinely thought I was like alone, because everyone I ever met was a guy and, you know, trained with them or like saw on Instagram was a guy. Or they were like a trained gymnast from birth or like an athlete, like not just Joe Blogs on the street like me. And so it's just awesome to see, like when I get a message and someone says to me, I bought a pull-up bar because of you, or like I've had one installed in my house, I'm just like, this is so cool. This is so cool. I would love, this is something else that would be a challenge for me that I would really, really enjoy doing, but I really would love to sort of find a way of doing workshops or doing like actual in-person things, you know, like if you were based in the UK, for example, actually just going and hanging out and actually doing some training together and stuff like that. To me, I sometimes even feel like just putting it on my Instagram, like, is anyone in Nottingham? Anyone here like to want to go for a jog or something, or even just a walk or go for a boulder? Like, I would just love that sort of stuff because I just enjoy that community aspect so much. And it's what really, really ignited my passion for calisthenics. And I would just love to be able to pass that on, you know. Love from Germany. Oh, I love Germany. Was hoping to go there for a long weekend at Christmas, but I don't think that's going to happen now with Josh. But I miss all my good German food and beer. Yeah, it's freezing at the moment, isn't it? It really is. Calathea lady, yeah. I've got 2 Calatheas. One of them has only got one sad and sorry leaf. They've all fallen off. The other one's thriving. Which Christmas song do you not hate? Okay, I'm really exposing myself here because I actually listen to Mariah Carey all year round. And not only that, but I was I was listening to it the other day and I had it on in my lounge room and I was doing exercise and I had it on fairly loud, like decent. You'd be able to hear it from the hallway. And I was like, is that the door? And there's someone knocking at the door. And I went and answered it and it was the delivery man. But as I went towards the door, he opened the door. Apparently my delivery man just helps himself to my apartment. He opened the door to throw my parcel in the door. And he was like, are you listening to Mariah Carey? I was like, yeah. It's such a good song though. I'm sorry. Anyone who says that is not a good song. But if you are one of those people and you were here, it would just fuel my fire. I would be like, right, that's it. Let's get it on even louder. And I just have it on repeat. And I do listen to it on repeat. It's a good song. I'm not having anyone say it's not. It really is. Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not the only person who eats the same meal over and over again. Oh dear. Do I have any mental health habits or routines? I've in the past I have. I'm just really bad at maintaining them. So mindfulness. That really helped. Well, it was really, really challenging for me. But when I had anxiety, I tried to get into mindfulness. I did like 10 minutes with the app. So like it gives you a little dong or whatever after 10 minutes, like a little boom. It tells you that you've finished the 10 minutes of mindfulness. That was a really good habit. Journaling. So one of my clients actually put me onto this. It's called the High Performance Planner. And it basically, one planner, I got it off Amazon. One planner lasts for 2 months. Yes, 2 months. So this is what it looks like. And you basically plan out your day. And then has all these prompts. So today's message to myself. And then it asks you loads of things that you can do in the day so that you do this bit in the morning. You can set your goals and priorities. You can plan out your day. And then things that you must do today, like tasks that need to be done. And then in the evening, you fill out this bit. And basically, you can talk about how your day went. So one thing I really, really love is this one. Person or persons I need to lead or connect with today and how it went, how to do it well. And then there's another question that I really like, which is someone I could surprise with a note, gift, or sign of appreciation is. And that one to me is really important because I think we can often forget to do little things like that. And I'm a huge fan of doing like small random acts of kindness. I like to randomly donate to charity. So once a month, I will just find a cause that I think is like worthwhile and I will donate. I love surprising people with little gifts and cards. I would just have little note cards and stuff around my apartment. And what I'll do is I'll just fill it out, post it to someone or like give it to somebody. I love giving people food. I think that's why my delivery driver just helps himself to my apartment because I give him food because I bake a lot. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I bake quite a bit. So he gets free stuff. If I ever am going away for like a social thing, so even if my boyfriend is, like taking me to meet someone or he's going out with I love this. When he goes out with his mates and he goes back home to go and visit them, I give him like a massive box of homemade brownies to take with him. So yeah, stuff like that, or even just a message to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or just a stranger. Like sometimes I'll message somebody who follows me or something like that and just send a nice message or something like that. So to me, that's an important one. And then there's another question. It says, there's two. One thing that I could do today that's a little outside of my comfort zone is, so that's something kind of like I've been doing recently. And then if I was a high performance coach looking at my life from a higher level, I would tell myself to remember this. And so you can fill it out every day. So yeah, that's really good for mental health as well. It's just journaling. I mean, it doesn't have to be a planner like this. You could literally just write your thoughts down, 3 things that you are grateful for. These things are so, so important. But no, I'm really, really bad at it at the moment. I'm very bad with just like trying to prioritize my own health. But since coming back from Croatia, I have been really trying to have more of a work-life balance because, like I said, I got into a really sort of bit of a state in terms of just what I was just working, and my stress levels were increasing. It's ridiculous. Like there's so many little things that I just haven't even done. Like so many things, and it just starts to weigh you down. Like little household chores that you don't get around to doing. So it's just important to put yourself aside some time and actually get into the habit of doing those things. Oh, I left my Christmas tree up until July. Yeah, I left my Christmas lights up until about 2 months ago, and now I have to get them back out again. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to wait until like mid-December. And I also think I'm going to get a Christmas tree this year because I didn't do that last year. And I think it would look nice in that big bay window in my lounge room and might make people on the street feel happy if they see it. So yeah. Why is he in hospital? I know that he won't mind me saying, but Josh has got Crohn's disease, which is an autoimmune disorder, and he has been very unwell with it for, like I said, about 6 months now. He's been slowly declining. So that was basically the preliminary reason he was in hospital. So he was in hospital just before he went to Croatia for a week. If you don't know what Crohn's disease is, it's a autoimmune disease where your immune system attacks usually your intestines. So your digestion and stuff like that is affected. And he has been progressively getting worse. And then when I got back from High Rocks on Saturday from Birmingham, he was very, very, very unwell. And so we took him to A&E, and it turned out he had a perforated bowel. So he had surgery yesterday. And it was only meant to be a small one, but ended up being quite a big surgery. But he's on the road to recovery, fingers crossed. It's just hard to see him the way he is. But yeah, he's definitely, I saw him, I just got back from the hospital before this, and he is cracking some of his old rubbish jokes. So he's starting to get the old Josh back again, which is great. I come from parkour. That just makes me think of parkour. Parkour's so cool. I really want to try it, but I'm such a baby. Like, this is the irony, is like I'm such a big baby when it comes to trying things that scare me, and I'm so worried about my back still, even though it's the same with the bouldering injury that I had. It's like I still have that fear attached to it. But yeah, I really want to try it. But yeah, you're right. It is similar to the calisthenics community where it's just like chill, I love with calisthenics, it's just about lying on the ground. You don't need your shoes on. No one's judging you. No one cares what you're wearing. No one cares how good you are. It is literally just about getting amongst it, hanging out, being there for hours on end, listening to some music. Like, you're not training the entire time, but it's just so much fun, and I love it. Same with bouldering, really. What to wear when you go for a jog in cold weather? This is a question that I still have not got the answer to. I often just avoid it, to be honest with you. I hate it because I hate being cold. And that's an interesting thing about weight loss as well. I see this on Reddit a lot as well, because this is another thing I do that sometimes I can't sleep at night. Like at 3 a.m, I'll wake up and I can't sleep. So I'll go on Reddit and I follow some subreddits about weight loss, because it gives me interesting ideas for like topics that people want to know about, or questions that people have. And sometimes I'll just it's just a random account. It doesn't have my name attached to or anything like that. And I'll just give people advice on there. But since losing weight, I am perpetually cold. Like, I am so cold. I know the irony is I'm sitting here in a tank top right now, but I've got the heating on and I've also got a hot water bottle on my lap. But I look outside, I'm like, it's cold. I know it's cold. And I'm happy to go out for a walk because I'll just put loads of layers on. And then obviously I'm not going to get hot and sweaty. But if I'm running, I don't want you can't run in a jacket. Like, it's too hot. So I go for a vest top and then a long sleeved running top. So I wear one, I have a Nike one, but it's really, or Nike, it's really thin. So it's more of a summer one. I've got a Gymshark one, which is really thick and nice. So that's the sort of thing I would wear. And then I have a little puffer vest that I'll put on as well. Because the other thing that's annoying when you go for a run is that you have nowhere to put your keys and nowhere to put your phone and stuff like that. So I've negated the phone issue by upgrading my very, 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 very old Apple Watch to a more modern one, which means I can listen to music and do anything I want with like cellular. So I don't need to take my phone with me. But keys, I just have to like tuck them into my sports bra and then they just dig in. So yeah. And then also game changer is the little headband that covers your ears. So you can't go for a full beanie because it makes your hair itchy. You'll understand if you have long hair. And also you want your ponytail up. You don't want like your hair like this when you're running, I don't think. Well, personally, I don't. But the headband, so good. So good. And also another game changer for running is not listening to music, but listening to podcasts or audiobooks. I found that really useful. I started doing that last lockdown, the first lockdown that we had. I did a lot of running like everyone else in the UK. And I started listening to podcasts and I was like, oh, this is actually much better, because you don't realize you're running. You're too busy thinking about the fact that they're talking to you. Donate blood. I do donate blood. I haven't been able to, unfortunately. They have been hounding me, but I've not been able to for a while because my back injury was under investigation. So they were like, we cannot take your blood until this is finalized and sorted out. And unfortunately, when I lived in Australia, I also cannot give blood. I was talking about this on Instagram the other day, because I was born in the UK between a certain period. And I think this is the same in Germany as well, that you can't give blood in Germany, or if you were German, you can't. But anyway, because we had mad cow disease years and years ago, they won't accept your blood. And so when I lived in Australia from 18 to 30, I wasn't allowed to donate. And as soon as I came back to the UK, I did start donating blood. And I actually want to see if I can donate plasma as well. But I should be able to donate blood again shortly, which I'm excited about, because not only obviously is it good for other people, it's actually good for your body as well. And I learned this in university because I studied biomedicine. And I remember one of my immunology lecturers we were talking about blood donations, and it forces your body to rejuvenate your blood supply and freshen it up, basically. So it's actually really good for your body as well. But not everyone can donate blood. So it's not for everyone. I lost a lot of muscle when I lost weight years ago. It's terribly frustrating that I even have problems with. Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's just swings and roundabouts. Like, if you are going to lose muscle, and then when you come back to doing something that's a beginner workout, it can be really frustrating. I still feel it. I do things that on some channels are beginner, or on some apps or websites I'll try and they're beginner, and I find them hard. But you just have to remember that either where you've come from, or that it will come back. It just takes time. And then you just have to try to enjoy the process rather than thinking about what you potentially lost. Because, I could look back easily and go, gosh, look how much stronger I was back then. But it's not gonna get anywhere. So if you can enjoy the moment and have a little bit of a laugh at yourself as well, that's really important. I made a cup of tea and I haven't drank any of it, and it's now cold. Oh, my necklace. I get so many questions about this. It's a molecule of adrenaline. And the reason I wear it, I literally never take it off. The reason I wear it is because it reminds me, firstly, of my little stint at university doing biomedicine. And also I got this when I had really bad anxiety, and it was to remind me that all the things I was feeling, it was just adrenaline. And it kind of signified to me like I was able to get through it. Like it's just your body, like your body, it's just your body, like it's science, so everything will be okay, because your brain can be very irrational sometimes. Oh, I just saw, by the way, bumped into, and I thought you were going to say bumped into me, but no, bumped into my channel. I was trying to provide with fitness content on YouTube. Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Oh, thank you. I really want people to feel like my content is like it's not. I know how confusing the world of health and fitness can be. It's frustrating. I look at things and it makes me mad. That's why there's a video I made a couple of weeks ago about social media, or the fitness industry essentially being what holds people back. And it breaks my heart, because I see this every single day. I get messages and comments every single day about people just confused, being really hard on themselves because they've read something or they've done something, or it's just a minefield, and it just doesn't have to be that way. And I just hate that it is that way. So it's like my driver to keep doing what I do, just so people feel like there is normality in this industry, because it often feels like there isn't. I still feel it sometimes. Like I still feel that pressure sometimes, or I feel sometimes that there's information overload. And then I try to remind myself, like, why do I care, how my body looks necessarily, what my body is capable of doing, if I'm satisfied with it? Because the most important thing is that I'm healthy and I'm happy. And so I want that to be what's your priority as well. You're healthy and you're happy, whatever that looks like for you. You know, it doesn't have to be about weight loss. It doesn't have to be about being a certain fitness level, whatever it is. It's just going, you're happy where you are, you know, and you're thriving and fulfilled. My tummy's rumbling. It's the talking of that chicken salad. I'm surprised you can't hear it because it's pretty loud. 50 squats, that's a lot. 50, I don't think I could do 50 squats. I mean, I probably could, but I don't think I'd enjoy it. But that's good. I'm glad that, look, anything that you do to get started, you know, if it makes you happy, that's all that matters. What was it that made you start your business? Would you go back to the normal 9 to 5 if your business would somehow fail, or would you just start another business? I don't know, to be honest with you. And in fact, like in terms of, I don't know if I'd go back. I think I would do it as a hobby, and that is how this started. Like it was a passion that I was just sharing, and then it sort of started to grow from there. I think if everything went wrong and it failed, I would probably go into medicine, and I would draw upon the knowledge that I have now of like health and fitness and lifestyle, because I think it's a hugely neglected area of medicine in terms of like the long-term lifestyle changes and how it can affect people. I know it's not as simple as that, and this is a huge topic that I could talk for hours and hours and hours on, and I'm very, very passionate about it. The medical system is not as easy as that. Like they are there to treat, you know, the symptoms, but often it doesn't treat the underlying causes in some cases. So I would find that very interesting to go into. And like I said, I did study I was potentially going to be a doctor. That's why I studied biomedicine. I initially wanted to be a doctor, and then I changed my mind. I still have a very, very strong interest in medicine, science, and immunology and health as well. So yeah, I'd probably do something like that. But you know, this all started really from my hobby. You know, I started my Instagram account just because I was getting into calisthenics. People sick of me talking about calisthenics that knew me. So I was like, oh, I'll just start putting it on Instagram. And then from there, I think I one day put up a weight loss transformation photo, and then it just started to grow from there, and people were asking, and then I got really passionate about helping other people. Then I became a personal trainer. Then I started working in a gym, and it just started rolling on from there. So yeah, it's just kind of been a natural progression. And it's been a huge learning process along the way. Like I say, I'm not naturally like a huge back myself type of person. So probably not the sort of person that would have gone into business like off my own back, you know, like as a self-employed person. So I've had to learn a lot along the way, and I've really enjoyed it. It's challenged me a lot, and it's made me grow as a person a lot as well. Really, really has. What would you do? I don't know what you do right now, but do you own a business, or would you want to start a business, something like that? It's always interesting to me. How long did it take to finally master handstands without the support of a wall? So when I started my handstands, I actually didn't use the wall, didn't follow the right progressions. I just started throwing myself up in the middle of the room, and I just did that continuously. And I just came up and I fell, and I came up and I fell. I just kept doing that all the time. And it probably took me about, I would say, 2 years before I could somewhat control that. So like sometimes I would just be there and it was luck, like gravity was just hitting right, and I'd be kind of like teetering on the edge. And I was like, oh, I held a handstand. But I wasn't really controlling it. After 2 years, I could probably most of the time control that. And then I'd be able to hold it for like 3 to 5 seconds, something like that. And then from there, the progress started to increase quite quickly. But that first initial part was probably about 2 years. Don't get me wrong, there's still days now where I'll try and do a handstand and it's just not going to happen. I mean, I can handstand, but I'll be a little bit more all over the place, or it might take me a few tries to get into the handstand. But that's normal. I actually made a post about, I made it on the community tab, but I also made it on Instagram about your menstrual cycle and how it affects your training and how it affects your just general like body and like throughout the month and how it's going to change. And when you're in your luteal phase, which is the second 2 weeks, so just before your period, you have less coordination and less balance and proprioception. And I noticed that. So a week before my period, there is absolutely a huge difference in how good at handstands I am. So yeah, I had to go and film was it last week? Yeah, last week on Thursday, we went to Lace Makers in Long Eaton to film with Bulldog Gear, just doing some content stuff for them. And they wanted me to film some handstand stuff. I don't know if you guys would have seen it, but it's on their YouTube channel. It's just a 60-second handstand tutorial, and on their Instagram. And I was like, oh no, it's going to be one of those days where I cannot for the life of me handstand, because I knew I was going to get my period this week, but somehow I managed to do it. But like yesterday, I did some handstands when I got back from the hospital. Oh my gosh, I was all over the shop. It's just one of those things. It's always going to be ebbs and flows. And obviously as well, my back injury, after 7 or 8 months of not being on my hands at all, I was like, I'm not going to be able to handstand at all. But I was really surprised that I was able to. So yeah. Oh, thank you, TJ. That's so sweet. Is Josh watching this? I severely doubt it. He'll probably be watching the rugby. Even if he was watching it, I don't think he would have got to 1 hour 40. You guys are absolute troopers putting up with me for this long. Even he hasn't listened to me for this long when he's in person. How tall am I? That's not too personal. I am 164 centimeters. I think people think I'm taller, but no, 5'4". I never know if it's metric or what it is, but imperial. But yeah, 5'4", 164 centimeters. I'm pretty sure that is exactly average. I think I can hear Hugo. Hello. Do you want to come and say hello? Come here then. Poor Hugo's been outside the room because I thought he'd probably cause havoc if he was in here. Here he is. Look how big he is. He is so big now. He weighs 7 kilos. 7 kilos. You're a big boy, aren't you? He's just a big breed. That's all. And the fact that you love food like your mummy. Oh, he's so cute. He's actually 1 year old soon. It's your birthday, isn't it? When's your birthday? It's the 10th of December, 4 days before mine. Yay! Yes, anyway, right, you can go back down. What were we talking about? Oh, my height, that's fine, that's done. Oh, thank you, Simple Fit. That's very sweet. Thank you so much. There was a question I saw. Where was it? Oh, does my hunger fluctuate? Oh, God, yeah. I mean, oh, sorry, I just locked him in. Yeah, it definitely does. So again, with your menstrual cycle, that's very normal. And that's something that I really notice. So at least probably about a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks before my period, I get like hungry, like ravenous. It's not even just hunger, it's like ravenous. I just want to eat anything in sight. And it's obviously carbs as well. I'm just like, yeah, give me food, give me food, give me food. So that definitely notices when I'm like emotional. Yeah, I'm hungrier. Depending on my training, I'll be hungrier as well. So yeah, it's constantly changing, and therefore my eating is constantly changing as well. But it's more just like the amount that I eat rather than what I'm eating, because, you know, like I said, chicken salad life at the moment. I feel like I need to put a picture up of this chicken salad, and you'll be like, whoa, that's an absolute beast. The bowl is like Kim Kardashian style, you know, like this size. I love it. It's like such a guilty pleasure. It's not a guilty pleasure, but like, it's just sitting there on the sofa with this massive bowl of salad and like bread. It's so good. Ah, right. You're currently starting business with a friend. It's just much more fun than my day job, pharmacist. Oh, pharmacist. I did pharmacology, 1 unit of it at university. My gosh, the maths that we had to do. It's intense. I'm glad you're enjoying your business with your friend. That's awesome. I think that would be so much fun, starting a business with a friend. I always think that, like, if I had a buddy on YouTube with me, we chat, I wouldn't shut up. You'll see it in that bouldering video with Josh Rundle. It's like a different dynamic when you have somebody else with you. I think you have someone to bounce off a little bit. That's something that I've really struggled with in terms of like being self-employed. It's just that you are your sounding board. You have no one else to bounce off. You know, a lot of people have managers and stuff like that, and I've never really chosen to go down that route. So I just have to try to back myself and understand, which is why I ask you guys a lot of questions, because I obviously have my own opinion on what may be useful for you, but I actually don't know for sure, which is why I will always bounce off you guys. Since trying headstand, my neck became blocked for a week. Yeah, I'd probably be careful. You can buy those headstand like little stools. They kind of have a little slot for your neck, and then it puts your shoulders. So basically, your head's not on the ground. You can maybe try that. I'm sure you'd be able to get one on Amazon or something like that. Otherwise, have you tried like a pillow or something like that? A headstand does tend to put quite a lot of pressure on your neck, like compresses it a little bit. Obviously, in a handstand, you wouldn't feel that so much, but maybe check out those little stools. That might be good. Biggest challenge during my weight loss journey. To be honest with you, and it's not regarding weight loss per se, but it would probably be more so the fitness and like having to mentally break through not feeling capable of doing something. So when something feels really hard when you're doing exercise, especially for the first time when you're trying to learn something. I mean, I remember trying to do a push-up, and I remember yelling at my boyfriend at the time, just being like, I'm never going to be able to do push-ups. This is impossible. You know, I genuinely was just so frustrated. So yeah, I think that was like the mental aspect of that was quite challenging for me. And then honestly, once I'd hit like a healthy weight, the actual weight maintenance became quite hard, because it was just like all these other things getting thrown up. Like I thought that it would make me happy that I would lose weight, or I thought that I'd be confident in myself, and none of that changed at all. So it was about trying to then adjust all that sort of stuff. Oh, thank you, Janice. I don't feel it. I feel a bit rough, but as long as the camera's doing me some sort of help, then that's all right. Winter is coming. Oh, that's so true. I'm not ready for it. Are there any flights to Australia? Get myself up to Queensland. Yeah, Hugo is sweet, but he's also a terror because he knows it's dinner time, and he will be attacking my feet as soon as I walk out of here. Nick Gurr, never heard of him. Never heard of him. Is that a bad thing? I'm gonna have to look him up on Spotify. How many days a week do you need to practice a particular calisthenics move in order to improve it? I mean, it's gonna be there's no right or wrong answer, because it depends on so many different variables. You know, I would say 3 times a week is a good idea, like a good medium. But you know, if it's a handstand, practice every day. If it's like push-ups, you can just do it when you're waiting for your kettle to boil against your kitchen counter. So it's really that, but listening to your body as well. But 3 is good, gives you enough time to rest. With calisthenics, with certain movements, your brain has to kind of click into place as well, and those neural pathways, especially with things like handstands. So having a bit of rest can be quite good for that sort of stuff too. So yeah, but is it kind of like how long's a piece of string, unfortunately. What is your least liked calisthenics movement? Oh, I think it's going to be pull-ups. I don't know, only because I just find them so hard at the moment. Like they really are. And so it's a real love-hate. It's a real love-hate. And it's not specifically a calisthenics movement as well, but Bulgarian split squats are like a love-hate relationship for me as well. Just, yeah, they're so good, but so awful at the same time. But on the flip side, my favorite would be a handstand, I think. Would it? I do like a push-up. It's just because I find them easier. It's just, isn't that like anyone else? Like the stuff that you're good at, it just feels like you want to do it all the time. And then the stuff that's hard, you just don't want to. Yes, I do want to try pole dancing, and I would love to try BJJ, but I just haven't got around to it. Pole looks almost impossible. I see people and I'm like, it's like calisthenics. It looks easy, and you know it's nails. Like you know it's really hard. But the thing about pole that really puts me off is that when your skin like rubs against the pole and it's like, yeah, and it just looks so painful. Like I have an aversion to anything rubbing my skin because of my psoriasis, and so when I see that, it just makes me cringe. I don't think I could get through that. But BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, can't speak, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for anyone who's not sure of the abbreviation. I would love to try it. I, again, have this like fear of hurting myself, so I would be worried about that. But I hear so many good things about BJJ. So watch this space. Maybe one day you'll get me in a gi. We'll see. I have looked up a few martial arts places around Nottingham, and there's quite a few. So yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's my forte. I doubt it, but maybe. I cannot even get through a full push-up yet. Don't worry. You'll get there. You will get there. Just keep chipping away at it and it will happen. And yeah, it will feel good when you do. But honestly, it took me years and years to really be able to get them properly. So don't worry. Programming calisthenics. It's pretty much similar to other forms of programming, well, like programming a normal workout. So you're probably going to go for your big compounds first, then work into isolation, and then you could put some core or some high intensity stuff at the end. In terms of what they want to achieve with it, it's going to be the same as well. So if they want pure strength, then you're going to go lower reps and probably a slightly higher set. And then if they want to go for more hypertrophy endurance, which is probably where you're going to start off, you want to go for like an 8 to 12 rep range, just like you would with any normal workout. And then make sure they're working on their mobility as well. And also make sure they're getting enough stretching, because calisthenics can be notoriously hard on your joints and injury prone as well. So yeah, just being mindful of that. But I think also if it's somebody who is a beginner, it is really important with calisthenics to make sure that you are programming to their level, because it can be really off-putting if someone says to you, go and do a push-up on your toes as a beginner. Like they say, right, a beginner, go do a push-up on your toes. And you're like, that is not a beginner movement. And that really frustrates me on YouTube, is that if I see a beginner calisthenics workout and they're like, yeah, go and do a pull-up or a push-up, I'm like, that's not beginner. And that's so frustrating. And then it really annoys me when people then look at beginner videos that I would put up and they'd be like, oh, this is really easy. Like, this is too easy for a beginner. I'm like, no, it's not, because I know what it's like to be a beginner. Like, it's really hard. Like doing a push-up on an incline, I couldn't even do them against the wall when I started out. So I know what it's like. I really do. So yeah, I think making sure that you're programming calisthenics movements to their level is really important as well. Do I like CrossFit type of training? I don't know if you saw the first part of this live, but I was saying I did High Rocks at the weekend, which is a functional endurance competition. And so I had 2 weeks to train for it. And I started doing some High Rocks workouts. If you're interested in what workouts they were, they're free. If you just go to High Rocks on Google, and then their training programs are on their website. So you can just look at them for free. It's HYROX, High Rocks. So yeah, I was doing those and I really, really enjoyed them, which has made me kind of want to try CrossFit. And although this is my job, as in fitness and health and all that sort of stuff, I still get nervous going to a gym, and the thought of going to a CrossFit box made me really nervous. And the irony is that a lot of my friends go to CrossFit, or they're actually coaches at the boxes that I potentially would go to because it's in my city, and I'm still scared. But when I filmed with Bulldog Gear last week, we filmed at CrossFit Lacemakers, and I was like, well, this is nowhere near as scary as I thought. And I was like, actually, I might try this. So if I do, I'll make it a video. Maybe I do like a month of, I tried CrossFit for a month or something like that to see what it's like. There's some things I feel like I would be better at, and then some things like the cardio, I think that would absolutely fry me, but be a good challenge. Definitely. Right, let's do a couple more questions. Aerial stunts. Oh, I would love to. When my parents used to live in Vegas, and I used to go out there quite regularly to visit them, and there's quite a few places in Vegas that you can go and do classes in aerial stunts. And it was always my intention to do it. And then the last time where I was there, I was like, right, I'm going to do it. My back went, and I had a bad back for the entire holiday. I never got around to doing it. I would love to do that. It'd be so cool. So cool. Is weight loss more food control or exercise? Food control. Yeah, definitely. If I hadn't reduced how much I was eating, and I was eating a lot before I lost weight, I wouldn't have lost weight through exercise alone. Definitely not. It is that classic, you cannot out-train a bad diet, unfortunately. And by bad, it just means overeating, not necessarily what you're eating. Sometimes when I push ups or planks, my lower back is a bit sore afterwards. Yeah, it's probably form, but it might be a bit of core engagement as well. So you want to think about posterior pelvic tilt. So when you think about standing, you want to sort of tuck your tailbone under, scoop your pelvis forward a little bit. And then you also want to really engage your core. So when we talk about engaging your core, you want to The best way to think about it is to imagine someone's going to come punch you in the stomach and you're going to go and tense your stomach to not have the pain, that feeling, but you want to maintain that the entire time. That will keep your back supported, and then that will help reduce the pain, but also doing some lower back exercises as well. So get some glute bridges in, some back extension, and hopefully strengthen up that. So it's going to be a combination of back exercises to strengthen up that lower back. You want to make sure you're activating your core properly, and then also the form, just make sure your form is accurate. And if it's not quite right, just do a modification until you're feeling like you're strong enough and confident enough with it, and then start to go back to it. Form over everything, always. Yeah, push-ups and pull-ups are not beginner. No way. I don't take any vitamins or supplements or anything like that at the moment. I did take collagen for a while, but then I just got really forgetful and forgot. Wait, I can't speak. I got really forgetful. Oh my goodness. I got really forgetful. I can't get my words out. And then I stopped taking it. So no, I don't take anything. And like, even people ask me, do I supplement protein? I don't. I do sometimes have protein bars now, because one of my friends works for a protein bar company, and every time he comes over, he just brings more, and they taste really yummy. So that's why I eat them. But I don't track how much protein I eat or anything like that. I really just don't think, like, I just go off how my body feels. Oh, thank you, Nancy. That's so sweet. Thank you. All right, Elizabeth, deal. If I do any, I will definitely film it and let you guys know. This is something that I would like to do, but I put a poll on my YouTube. You might have voted in it, saying what videos would you like to see, and one of them was like me going and trying different things, like different sports or different challenges, and it wasn't voted very highly, so I didn't know if it was something that people would really want to see much. But I really like the idea of like me trying things. Like, I just want to challenge myself. I want to do different things, and I find that really fun. So like me trying aerial stunts, me trying CrossFit, me trying like a really big hiking challenge, or doing like the Navy SEALs fitness test, something like that. Like, I look at it, I'm like, I want to try that, you know? So yeah. Is there any reason you don't review products or do affiliate links for the gear you use? As in my equipment, as in my workout equipment? I do have a link in my down bar on not all of my YouTube videos, but some of the more recent ones. I recently upgraded to Bulldog Gear stuff. So I've been using their stuff and been doing a bit of work with them, just to create some content for them, because I really like their equipment. I've used a lot of their equipment there's a lot of gyms that have that equipment in it, and I think their stuff is just like the most insane quality. And so that's why. And so yeah, the link for their website is in my down bar, and that is an AF link as well. So, you know, if you ever buy anything, I really appreciate if you went through that link. But other than that, yeah, I only would link stuff that I believe in. So like, yeah, I would only ever work with a company that I genuinely really believe in their product. And in terms of exercise gear, I like my mini parallettes I'd made myself. My rings were good. So I think I did link them once before. I said, like, at least I had the website that they were from. And yeah, and everything else is there. But like I say, it just recently got upgraded. I just got some new stuff. So I've got some large parallettes now, so I can do my dips at home, which is exciting. And I should be working on my L-sits. But that's an exercise I hate. L-sits. Oh, L-sits. Anybody who knows, like, it just, I'm so bad. Like, my compression is so bad. It's something I need to work on. But we'll get there. One day we'll get there. Just like the muscle up. Cooking videos, yeah, that would be good. That'd be fun. I mean, I do the what I eat in a days and like some food recipe ideas, but I'd like to do more. I love cooking. So I'll hopefully do some more of those. Right, any few last questions? That's all right, Mix Max, don't stress. We'll do another live at some point anyway, because I do enjoy these. And I just enjoy I feel like sometimes social media, YouTube, it's about being social and community, and often that feels like it gets lost. And I am quite active over on Instagram, like day to day on my stories and stuff like that, but I don't get that interaction on YouTube as much, just because of the way the platform's developed. And so I really miss it. And then when I'm on YouTube, I actually genuinely love you guys. Like, I sometimes will be looking, like, replying to comments on my videos, and I see how much you support each other. Like, I'll see you commenting to each other's comments and giving each other support, and it just puts such a big smile on my face. Like, it really, really does. So yeah, I love coming over here and doing live. So we'll do some more, definitely. And it's so nice. Like, how cool is it that we can be sitting here for 2 hours chatting and just people from all over the world joining in, and it's just so cool. Like, I just think it's amazing. Oh, I think it's Ms. Sunset. I'm glad that it's made you feel like you could, want to look after yourself better. That's awesome. That's really good. What helped me stop overeating? Just knowing that I didn't have to, like, cut out any foods. I could still eat what I wanted, but just eat slightly less of it, and then increasing some of the volume foods that I was having. So, like, for example, if I was having pasta, then putting like greens in it, something like that. So I was still feeling like I was quite full, but I was getting less calories in total. That really helped. And then also, certain things that I probably would be a little bit more snacky on, I just didn't buy them as often, so I'm really big with cereal. Like, I would just sit and eat it out of the box. So I just wouldn't have it as often. Like, I'd still have it, but just not as regularly. I saw one more. I can't see it now. Right. Well, oh, that was it. My skin. This is the last one I'll answer. Yes, my skin is so-so. It's like I said, I was a bit stressed recently, and then with Josh being unwell, I've kind of been stressed about that, and then some work stuff. So it's kind of flared up a little bit, but it's nothing like it used to be at the moment. Of course, that could always change, but I've found a good way of managing it. So yeah, it's pretty good. Like, as you can see, it's fairly clear. I've got a few little marks here. This is psoriasis. A few little dots on my legs. A few little dots on my belly, but yeah, nothing major. I'll be filming a video, the how I lost weight one, in a couple of days, and because I'll be doing here, I'll probably wearing a sports bra, so you'll be able to see my skin there. There's a few little dots here and there, but like I say, it's nothing major, so it'll be all right. It'll be okay. Right, guys, I am going to, you guessed it, go and eat chicken salad. I have to go and cook it first, but Nuggies, wherever he's gone, I'm sure is absolutely famished. So I'm going to go feed him. I'm going to run to the grocery store and get some groceries in, and I'm going to make my food and watch another episode of Face Off, because I'm addicted, even though it's quite repetitive. So yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you. Genuinely, guys, thank you so much for coming and joining me on this chat tonight. I've really appreciated it. You guys helped me so much more than you realize, like, just to grow as a person and feel positive. I could have easily come home from the hospital today and just sat and moped around a little bit, because it was just a tough couple of days, but this has made me feel so much better, and I'm going to go to bed with a huge smile on my face and my hot water bottle and electric blanket as well. So I will keep you updated with everything that's going on. Like I said, November's a busy month. I've got lots of videos to edit and get up. I'm going to try and get some more workout videos up for you guys. Got that handstand workout coming. I've got the bouldering video. I have something else. I can't remember what it is that's filmed. I even did a Q&A ages ago that I still haven't uploaded. So all that's going to be up. The app launch will be up. The how I lost weight video will be up. So much to look forward to. And I just want to say thank you for your ongoing support. And not only that, but your support of each other. You're beautiful, beautiful people. And I hope you all have an amazing evening. So I'm going to leave you now, and I will speak to you guys hopefully very soon in the future. All right, guys, have a good night.